Yes, yes,
You are what?
yes.
Live.
We are live, and the show will be starting in 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay? So the video is live now. We're going to have a fun show today. You ready?
Yeah.
I am too. We got some exciting guests that we're going to have coming in a little bit later to join the conversation. I hope we have. Hey, who was our man last time who came in, who was just in the chat like crazy last time? What was
Drunk. I
his
was about
name?
to call him dude,
What was his
but it
name?
was drunk.
Drunk.
Yeah, that was him. It was a very. That was him.
That was him.
A memorable name.
Indeed, indeed, it was. You know what? It is 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock.
It is.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It's Brow South Girl time.
Oh, wow. It is. It is. It is. It is. Let me just get some of these things off of my screen, and we'll just go ahead and get the show popping.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, technical difficulties can be going on. We start the show, and it is okay. Understand? Welcome to the Brown South Girls podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope y'all are ready for another good edition of what I like to call a little brown girl chat. Okay? So let me get the music here, pause, so that you can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me find KJ. KJ, you in the building?
I'm here.
Boom.
I'm here. And I'm back. Better than ever.
Yeah. So how's your month been going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You know, the youth started school, so getting into the swing of things. It's been a pretty fun month. How about yours?
Mine has been good. Well, as you know, a whole lot has been going on. You said the kids are in school. Got my son back to school, so he's moved in. He's on campus. So he's enjoying himself, living his best college life.
I can tell because he was only texting me once since he moved in, which was today.
Listen, hey, since we're talking about college, before we get into the topic that we're going to talk about today, let's talk about something that Biden did that is helping a lot of college students. Do we need to give him some snaps?
I'm going to give him a snap.
We're going to give him some snaps. And the reason we should give him some snaps, because I feel like this is going to help so many students. Little student loan forgiveness.
Right. A little is better than nothing. I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
Woo, now, I haven't been able to see my forgiveness yet because there's a waiting list on the website. So I hope everybody already got in to see there so I can try again next week and actually get in.
But if I need to find a way to find out how we can get moved up on the list, who can get moved up on the list? It's millions of people.
Just let me know when you log off so I can log in. We'll do that. Y'all just send us a little note.
Oh my goodness. Like I hear a lot of people who are saying that it should have been more, it's not enough, this, that, and the other. And I do want to say, yes, we would like it to be more, but let's not be foolish.
Yeah.
It's going to help a lot of people. It really is. 10 grand off of any loan amount is a big deal. That's 10 grand that you will not have to pay, right? Now, we're going to go for more. Yes. So I think that's going to show people a lot of things. Who you vote for is important. I think it shows that you need to keep these politicians, you need to keep them accountable. Keep pushing for more. We've got this. And for people who are Pell Grant recipients, they're going to get 20. I think that's a lot. And there are people who have just a little bit under $20,000. So just think they're going to be wiped clean. And I'm really, really happy for them.
Oh, yeah, same, me too. And like we have Keep the Faith with Tori said, we got to be grateful for what we have because they very well could have just let us sit with our student loan debt and continue to pay and do whatever, however we were going to do it. But I feel like having something, like I said, is better than nothing. And, yes, it would be nice if it was more, but I'm thankful for any of it.
Yes.
So I'm happy regardless.
I tell you what, I'm a happy parent because I'm happy for my kids, but I'm happy for everybody's kid.
Yeah.
I'm happy for, and not just kids, I'm happy for some people who have been struggling with student loan debt for a very
Mm-hmm.
long time, because that interest has been
Right.
building and compounding and building and
Oh,
compounding. And there's a lot of things within that bill that is going to help them. There's going to be a cap on how much that has to be paid monthly. There is going to be, they're going to see a difference in the interest rate. So I feel like once they get an opportunity to bring down their principal, a lot of
mm-hmm.
people are going to be able to see their way. I'm gonna
Right.
tell you, they will. I know people who are paying like $500 and $600 a month in
Yeah.
student loan payments. That's a lot.
It is.
That's
It
a
is.
lot. So I want to see whatever can be done, and I'm happy for it.
Same.
Um, we got a topic that we want to talk about today that I think is very important. We're talking
Yeah.
about asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Asking for help. Who are we asking for help? How are we asking for help? And when are we asking for help? How important is it to know that? Do you know when you need to ask for help? Because I feel like we all have this situation where we're dealing with wanting to be so independent, wanting to handle everything on our own, just do it all. And do we have to do that? And why are we putting so much pressure on ourselves to do that? Should there be times when we're able, or should there be times when we just ask for help? What do you think?
Well, I've actually learned a lot about myself and asking for help, especially like in the last year or so, even within the last week. Just thinking about all the things that you have to do. And it can be even some of the simplest task that you think, oh, I can handle this. This is something easy. But you never really think about all the other components of what you have going on go into just where your mind is. And so even though something seems simple, you might still need some help with the simple task because you just aren't able to focus on it as well as you should. And so I've had to learn that. Even my staff will tell me, because I'll make signs and I will spell stuff wrong. And they're like, Miss Jackson, just let us do it. We can help you. So it's even just the simple stuff. It's like, you know what? You're right. Y'all can handle that. I'll handle all these big issues. We are in this together. So it's a
Yes,
spectrum of what you need help with and when you should ask.
it is. There's just going to be different things and different points in your life when you're really going to need some help. And I can specifically think of a time as a young mother, you know, just needing some extra help, just trying to figure out how you're going to work and take care of your kids. You might need a little extra help in terms of care. And I had family members who were able to help me. Like, and I know that you know this, I had my grandmother, I had my mother, which is your grandmother and your great grandmother. And without that help, I promise you, I don't know how I would have been able to do it. Being a divorced mother at that point where I was just being the parent, the main parent, I had to
Mm-hmm.
have some help. I wasn't going to be able to do it. So, I had to put pride aside. And I don't even think that I had any false pride, but I know that people feel like they can handle things on their own. But really, why when there are people who are there to help you? And not everyone will be there to help you. So I'm going to ask this question. Um, where does it come in? How do you know who you're going to ask for help? Where does that come in?
That's a great question because also in my learning, I feel like I've kind of been in a state where I've just been really hyper independent. And so I'm like, no, I got this, I can do it. And I don't know if that just comes from like, people seeing the things that I've done and be like, oh, wow, you did such a great job. So just kind of that internalizing, okay, everything I do has to be a good job. And people expect me to do a good job. So it's like, no, I have to do this because I know how it should be done. And so when I think about the things that I do need help with, I do struggle like thinking, okay, who should I ask for help? Because with my hyper independence, I also like to have control. And so it's like if I ask somebody for help, are they going to do this the right way, or are they going to do this the way it needs to be done? And I don't know how many other people think like that, but you really shouldn't. Just because, help is help. And kind of like we were saying with the student loan, something is better than nothing sometimes. And so just being able to completely let go of that, I need to have control, I need to do this on my own, and just accepting the help is a good thing. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't really know who to ask sometimes.
Guess who we got in the building?
Oh, come
Boom.
on.
What my man
What's
saying?
up, drunk? I refuse to ask for help because people always bring it up later, and I hate that.
Oh my
Hmm.
gosh.
You know what's
That
crazy?
that's
I
an
was.
issue.
It is, and I was having a conversation earlier. Because you know how sometimes you'll do something for people and they'll say, "Oh, don't mention it." Like when you say thank you. This comment kind of reminded me. It's like, why do we say don't mention it? Is it because it's kind of like deep down, I don't want you to bring this up later, or is it because we're like, oh no, it was a good thing, like we didn't mind doing it? But I do hate when it's like you ask for help and then people bring it up later, or they use it as a way to be like, oh well, I helped you, so you have to help me, and it's like, if you're not going to help out of just genuine kindness, I don't need it.
Absolutely.
I think that's the part.
You know what drunk said, you're right, because I feel like a lot of people don't ask for help for that reason, because they don't want people bringing it back up in their face, like
Mm-hmm.
they're going to keep reminding you. And my
Right.
thought is that if you're going to help someone, then you do that because you can. You do
Mm-hmm.
that out of whatever kindness that you feel. Because I know for me personally, yeah, we get it. We know that
Yeah.
people need help because we ourselves have been in situations where we've just needed a little pull out. And
Right.
so if somebody's just going to bring it back and blow it up in my face, I'm kind of like Trump, because there are people who, no matter what, I will not ask them for help. I
Yeah.
won't, because I know what type of person they are, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
not coming from a genuine place. So I kind of get that. It's sad though.
Yeah,
It
and
really.
it is, and I think it kind of goes back to me saying I don't really ever, not ever, but sometimes I struggle with who to ask for help, because I feel that too. It's like, okay, if I ask this person for help, is this about to be genuine help? Is this about to be, oh, I'm going to help because I'm going to need a favor later? Because sometimes when people know you, they know what you can offer as well. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll help you because I know later on I'm going to need this, and you're the person I'm going to go to for it. So I totally feel that wholeheartedly.
So it's not coming from a genuine place. It
Yeah.
really is. So let's see. We got another comment here. What do you got going on here?
Let's see, just Verter Vlogs, and I really hope I pronounced that correctly. I've been scared by people that I've asked for help from, and they were family, so I don't like to ask for help now.
Oh wow,
Sometimes it's your own people. It really
wow.
is sad but
It,
true.
it is. It is. And I got to tell you, there are some people in my family who I will not ask for help. So I can relate to that as well.
Yeah.
I see Keep the Faith with Tori. She was like, right, if it's not genuine, please, please don't.
Hmm.
Please don't. Don't help me if it's not coming
It
from a
is.
good place. I
Right.
want to see
And I
what
think
talks with.
too.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Talks with G.
Talks with G. Put Talks with G up there.
Let's see what Talks with G is talking about. Well, I feel when that happens, that's an eye opener to how they are. You have to have discernment of who you should ask. That goes back to knowing the people you are around. That is also very true. Very, very
Absolutely.
true.
Everybody is not really in your corner. I feel like a lot of the
Mm-mm.
times there will be those people who are going to help you just so that they can run and tell that. Well, I
Right.
helped her do so and so. It's because
Mm-hmm.
of me, this, that, and the other. So that puts people in a fearful place. And then they're just
Right.
not going to ask.
Right. And two, I think with that, like being a person who doesn't really know how to ask for help, I'm one of the people who always offer help to others because I know how it feels like, dog, I need help, but I don't know who to ask. So I'll be one of the first people to offer, like, hey, if you need help, let me know. Do you need help with this? Just kind of checking in because I know it can be hard to ask sometimes. And so,
I got you.
I try to be genuine to folks.
Like in
Hmm.
business, and as it relates to work, do you find that people are fearful in asking for help because they may appear of not knowing what they're doing?
Yes, I feel like there are two parts to it. I feel like, yes, people don't ask for help in work because it's like, ooh, I don't want them to think I don't know what I'm doing. Which, in a sense, you don't have to know everything when you're at a job. Like, training is a very important part of a job because they have to teach you things. And two, I think, or at least for me personally, I have been in jobs where I didn't want to ask certain people for help just because I didn't want it to make it seem like someone else in the job wasn't doing their part, if that made
Hmm.
sense. So it's
It
kind of
does.
like, how do I ask for help or how do I get this help without throwing somebody under the bus? That's what I wanted to say. So kind of knowing when to ask for help and how to ask for help, or just taking people out of the equation and asking for help for yourself because you need it. I think it's tough in the work world.
Hmm. It is. It definitely is. Drunk says it's always that one argument where somebody will bring up everything they ever did for you. And that's so
Mhm.
lame to me. That's
It is. It is.
that's lame to me as well. That's so
Yeah.
lame. But
And it's crazy that people do that. And I mean, I've been in, I wouldn't call it an argument because I don't think I argued back, but I've been in those type of conversations. And even still, like, I was like, well, I'm not going to throw back everything I did for you in your face because I did it because I wanted to help you out. I was a genuine person. I'm like, but if this is how you need to get your feelings out. Like Talk with G said, now I know what kind of person you are and I know how to treat you accordingly. And not saying I'm going to treat you bad, but I know not to ask you for help again.
I see Fanika here and she's saying family can be the worst. Listen, I see a lot of that in the comments here.
Yeah.
And that is so unfortunate.
Hmm.
It's unfortunate that we feel that way because you would like to think if anybody's going to have your back, it's going to be your own family. But still, don't let that, make you not seek help outside of your family
Hmm.
because there's somebody out there who's willing to help because there's someone who understands. And I don't know
Yep.
anyone, including those same family members that we don't want to ask for help. At some point in their lives, they needed help as well.
Hmm.
Somebody was there for them. So,
Right.
just let them suck. Let
Right.
them
And
suck.
then I feel like don't let it take a toll on you either. I had a friend tell me one time, you can't expect everyone to be like you. And once I really understood the statement, because it didn't click when they said it, but once I like really understood the statement and I processed it and I kind of learned through it, it helped me not take things as personal when like, I need help from someone and they kind of let me down, or if in the situation where it's like, yeah, you ask family for help and then they throw it back in your face. I think just knowing like, okay, you can't expect this person to do this how you would do it. So if you're going to ask, have that discernment and know what's coming with it, or like you said, find somebody who will genuinely help you because that's what they want to do and they understand.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I feel like we want to take this conversation a little bit more with some guests that we might have, and we'll have them come on in and we'll talk to them a bit and
Yeah.
see what they feel about the situation. I'm going to bring them into the stream. All
So
right.
excited.
Suham, unmute yourself
What's
and
going
speak.
on?
How y'all doing?
Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing
Great.
good. Doing good. Well, you guys kind of you hear what we got going on here today. We're trying to figure out the who, the how, and the when we're asking for help. And I think you've been in the green room here and you've kind of heard a little bit of the conversation. So I'm just going to ask you guys to chime in and talk about a time when you felt it was important, when you knew you needed help. I'll start with you. I'll start with you, C.
Okay. Well, like y'all have said, it is a struggle. That's one of my biggest struggles is asking somebody for help because I have the mentality like, oh, I can do it myself. I got it. I got it. But as you mentioned too, one of the biggest things which changed my life, up until now, was when I had a child. Like I realized that I need somebody. I really need somebody because it can weigh on you a lot trying to do everything yourself. And I have a great husband, of course, but it was like I got to do it. I got to do it. I can change him. I can do this and I can do that. And it was just like I got to a point where I started getting drained and I started feeling bad. And it was like I just can't go anymore. And it's like, okay, you need to put your pride down and ask somebody for some help. because you need it, and your child needs you to be the best you that you can be. So you need to ask for some help so that you can be better for them.
Absolutely. I understand 1,000%. How about you, Sue?
I think with running my businesses and doing stage plays and definitely campaigning for office, because I'm of the mindset of like you ladies, just used to doing it yourself. And then I come from a background. My mother and father, they're all about excellence. My daddy was um, Vietnam veteran, and and I am a Marine veteran, and so for me, I'm kind of like KJ. I'm like, man, people aren't going to do it the way I want them to do it. They're not going to do it in excellence. They're lazy, but not everybody is like that. And I had to take someone told me something very important. Tangi Baby, that does stage plays at Wild Production in Columbia. She said, Sue, you're not going to find someone to do it just like you. But if you can get someone to come up to 80% of your excellence, you're winning. And I was like, whoa, she's right. And so that changed my whole mindset. But it just got to the point where I was just getting bogged down, trying to do everything, trying to make sure the sound was right on the stage plays, the media was going, training the actors and getting the venue. And it was just too much. And so I was just like, I need help. And I brought in help. Now, unlike y'all, y'all in this big area, I'm in a little rural area. So it can become quite challenging sometimes trying to find consistent assistance. But nonetheless, I keep searching and I'm thankful for the internet because of virtual assistance. We can make some things pop that way as well.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. Um, for me, when you're talking about doing productions, I understand that a lot because even in doing this particular type of show where we're doing it online, so I feel like I have a bit more control of the environment, but I still needed some help. There's still controls that I share with KJ, and we kind of share this alike because no matter what, there's not too many things that you're really going to be able to do by yourself. If you're going to do something that is of a value, that is of a certain quality. I don't know anyone who has done anything alone. I don't. Is there a time that you all can think of when you regretted asking for help?
Hmm, that's a good question.
Hmm. Put on the thinking caps.
Now, there've been a couple of, contractors I regretted hiring. And I'm just like, oh my God, I just got to get through this bad boy and never again. You can believe that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I've had any situations where I've asked for help and somebody went back and like, oh, I helped her and did this for her because for the most part, to be honest with you, I'm always ready to broadcast people who help me because I'm so thankful. And the only time I
Right.
don't broadcast them is if they say to me, hey, Sue, I want to be anonymous. Then I'm like, okay, cool beans. So, um, yeah, but contractors, there's some of them I wish I had no extra help.
Hey, that sounds like a total disaster. I understand
Right.
that, but the sad part about that is a lot of the times when we are dealing with contractors, typically they're in a paid situation, and so that makes it worse. It's like their
Right.
help has been rendered useless. Absolutely. Well,
Right.
let me say this. In terms of being a helper, right? Do you feel like, I know that there's, because all of you have such a given spirit, and that's why I've kind of wanted to have this conversation with you two ladies specifically, because I know you to be givers, I know you to be helpful with anyone. You're always sharing what you're doing. A lot of the times I see you, Sue, like you're finding out new things and you're doing new things and you're sharing it along the way.
Mhm.
So as quick as you learn something, or as quick as you grab hold to something, it's like you're immediately sharing. But I'm going to ask this question. Is there a time or is there a situation that you feel like help isn't helpful?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because you can become an enabler of bad behavior, bad habits. And then also,
Okay, we lost you a bit here, Sue.
ooh, I'm
Okay, you're
sorry.
back. I hear you. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, and sometimes I have to say that sometimes I get in my feelings. I feel like I'm wasting my time by putting out so much free content and helpful information because I feel like people are not utilizing it. But a lot of times too, if you keep helping people who are lazy or helping people who won't take initiative, you're only enabling those behaviors. And so
Okay. I tell you what, why don't you chime in on this a bit,
Okay.
Cece?
Okay, I was about to jump on what she said. You start enabling people, and then also when you're trying to help somebody and they're not really listening to you, and you're exerting all the energy that you have to try to help them because you want something for them more than they want it for themselves, and it becomes draining. And so now you're over here giving all you got for somebody who really doesn't even care or isn't at the point in their life where they're ready to accept the help. I'll say that. And then too, and we have other people too when you're helping them, and then they start expecting you to help them and expecting you to do the work and things for them, and that becomes a lot too. And it's just like, no, I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to do it for you because it's for you
Mhm.
to do, not me.
Yes,
Ooh,
that's a
that
good point.
a big
Very
one.
good.
It's like you start out helping someone and then it becomes a duty, an
Hmm.
obligation. And so that's where
Yes,
you find out like, okay, well, I don't think I've been helpful here. I've been a crutch. And now
right.
you're not really seeking to do this on your own or seeking to be better. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely one. Can you think of a time in your youth, because with this particular show and as we talk as women, I feel like it's important for us to share. Uh oh, you got something going on here, Sue? Okay, I feel like a lot of the times we need to share information with young women. But do you feel like sometime in your youth where somebody was offering help to you and you didn't listen? Can you look back on that time and kind of rethink that at this point in your life? I'll start with you, KJ, since
Well,
you're the youngest of the bunch.
since still in my youthful days for a little while, um, yes, I can. I can think of multiple times. And I tell people this all the time, especially now that I've been working with students for so long now. And there will be instances where I'm in situations or my students are telling me about something and asking for advice. And I'll hear my mother's voice pop into my head about a time that I was in the same situation and she was really trying to help. And, just being young, I wasn't trying to hear it. I was like, no, I got this. I can do it. And then later in life, then I'll hear it. I'm like, oh, that's what she meant. And so a lot of my students probably can tell you that I have told them, well, my mom said this. And like that's been the advice that I gave them because now that I've lived through it and I can reflect back on it and then hearing somebody else go through it, I'm like, that's what she was trying to help me with.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I
Absolutely.
have a lot of those moments to
Yeah.
this day where I'll hear it again. I'm like, oh, I probably should have listened.
Mm-hmm.
That would have went a lot different. But I get to help people now. So it worked out in the long run.
It works
Right.
out. All right. What
I can say
about
the
you?
same thing with KJ. It's always my mom. It's every time something happens to me or if I'm in a situation and I'm like, that's what mama meant. And like I have to go back now and tell her, I'm like, girl, I'm so grateful for you. Like I tell her all the time, I'm like, I'm so grateful for you teaching me. I might not have took it then, but I carry it with me. And so now I'm more conscious of things that I do, conscious of things that I say. And it's just like, wow, I thank God for you, girl. I tell her all the time and she just laughs. She's like, I knew you would get it, eventually. And then like KJ said, I used to tell my students all the time, I'm like, listen to your parents. They're trying to tell you something for a reason. A reason. If you're not listening to your parents, at least listen to me. I'm trying to tell you for a reason because you're gonna look back later in life and you're gonna realize you needed that. You needed it. So you need to listen.
Right.
Absolutely. What about you, Sue?
boy, I think it's always my parents. The famous saying, "Hard head make a soft behind." I'm about to so quick and so many times. So definitely my parents. I wish I had just listened because they've been through it, But as kids, we're like, man, you're old. You don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The new day and age, we do things differently. But listen, there's nothing new under the sun. It might be a new way to do it, but I say to everybody, listen to your parents as long as they're sane. If they got sanity,
Right.
listen to your parents because they will save you a lot of headache and a lot of hair.
They will. They will. KJ, I see we got some comments here. I'm going to put one up screen on screen here. What do we got going on?
See, I remember not listening to advice my mom gave as well, that I definitely should have listened to as well from my bonus mom. I'm telling you, every time. I'll tell students now, if you're not going to listen to your mom, listen to mine, okay? Because she gave me some good advice and I should have listened to it then. So let me help you be better. All
Okay.
right. Oh, we
We
got
got
drunk,
drunk in
Greg.
here. Yeah. Hey, listen. He said every time my grandma told me something and I did the opposite, I ended up in a messed up situation.
Because grandmas know. Grandmas really know.
They really do.
They really
They
know.
do. You got to listen to that wisdom of your elders.
Mm,
Just listening to older people in general is always going to be useful and helpful to you because the point of the matter is they've been
hmm
there and they've done that. So you got to listen. Gotta listen. Okay. We've got these people. I see we got Shion here.
I'm
All
happy.
right.
I'm happy that I have my mom's advice to fall back on. Definitely. Me too, girl. Me too.
I think a lot of people are going to be saying their mom. I
hmm
really, really do. A lot of people are going to say their moms, and because moms are always in your lives. It seems like when you're young that moms are always in your business. And as a mother, I don't know so much that we're looking to be in your business. It's just that thing of, hey, we've been there and we've done that.
hmm
So we want to share that advice. We're trying to we can't really stop you from experiencing what you're going to experience. We can't do that. We absolutely can't. But in our minds, we're thinking like we can cushion this a little bit.
hmm
And that's the only thing that we're really trying to do. We just want to make sure that we went through this and we learned the hard way. So we feel like we've learned. So let me show you this. I've done it. I fell on my face. So listen, turn the other way. And if you don't, at least in my mind, if I gave you the information, at least if I planted that seed in your head, I feel like you can recover a little bit quicker. And to me, that means a whole lot. That's something that as a parent we want to do. Um,
hmm
I'm going to ask Sue, how do you feel about that as a parent? When you're watching your kids, your daughter, your sons, you're watching them do something and you see them about to fall on their face. How do you deal with that dynamic?
Well, now it's so funny because I was just having this conversation with my sister on yesterday. Now it's like, yo, you got to walk your own path, because before it used to stress me the freak out, because I'm like, I've seen this before. I know it's headed. I know the story, and I would caution them, and they won't listen. But at the end of the day, people got to walk their own journey and work their own path. And so my thing is, all I can do is pray for you and be here when you need me. But hey, live your life. You don't want to listen to me, so find it out the way you need to find it out. Maybe it'll work out differently.
You're right. You're right. She's right. I mean, that's exactly how I feel about it. CC, you've got the young one. You've got a very young one. So I feel
Yeah.
like you're more or less going to be dealing with taking some of that advice from your elders, from your mother, from your grandmothers. And we're all talking about mothers here, but how much help are we taking from men in our lives? And by that I mean your fathers, your grandfathers, your husbands, because they're to be helpmates to us. So talk about that a little bit if you would, Cece.
I think that was probably the hardest. Those are the hardest people, I feel, in my opinion, to take advice from. Because I just feel like sometimes they don't get it being a man. But I will say that the older I got, the easier it was to accept. Like my dad used to try to tell me stuff, and we would bump heads all the time. Like he was the only person in my life that I bumped heads with so much. But I know now that it was him trying to help me, and like I said with my mom, like I think back and I'm like, you were trying to help me, and I appreciate you. And so now I call him for everything. It's like, okay, can you help me with this, or can you come to the house and do this, or whatever. And it's just like, and now he appreciates that too. He likes the fact that I need him more than I put on when I was younger. And then also with my husband, because like when he tells me certain things, he pushes me more, I would say, than I push myself. And so I have to listen to him, and I'm just like, okay, I get what you're saying, but I don't want to do it right now, or I don't think it's time. And he's like, no, you should do this. Like, even with the whole content creation thing, most of that came from him pushing me to do it. And so it's like it's hard sometimes, and I'm a little stubborn. I can't admit that, but I do take the advice.
Okay. Okay. Sue, let's talk a bit about you're in a relationship and you have a helpmate, which I feel like a relationship 100% should be about. Talk about what that's like and what that entails. And that would give some young girls, as well as some of us older girls, an idea of what we should be looking for in that type of a help situation.
For me, one of the things that I said I could never compromise. That is my spiritual beliefs. I have to have somebody that's compatible with my spiritual beliefs. I have to have somebody that's compatible with my financial beliefs. And I have to have somebody that's compatible with my career beliefs and my business beliefs. And I have to be compatible with theirs. Because for me, I don't have a lot of people that I really let in really, really, really close to me. That's just who I am. Like, I'm very personable and very social. Y'all know that. Everybody loves me for my upbeat energy. But when it gets really close to me and knowing a lot of personal stuff about me, very few people know those things. And so for me, having a helpmate that I can trust and somebody who can build me up and somebody who can push me is of the utmost importance. And I'm so very thankful for Maurice, because he sees things in me that I don't see in myself, and he pushes me. And even when I sometimes want to be average and mediocre, he's like, that's not the way we do it. It's all about, doing it to the best of our ability. You're just being lazy. So a lot of times he comes up with great ideas, and I'm just like, wow, or I come up with an idea and he takes it to a level 10, something I never thought I could get to. And it's so crazy, because I have friends that say, man, I wish I had what you had, someone there to push me, to believe in me, to sow their money, their time, their effort, and their energy into me, like you have with Maurice. And I said, I'm telling you, I would not be where I am or do the things that I'm doing without God, my family, and Maurice. And that is 100% certain. So the Bible says two is better than one. You definitely need somebody on your team, whether it be a confidant, a spouse, whomever it is. You need somebody on your team that is 100% wanting to see you win, and that's all they want. There's no hidden agendas whatsoever, and I thank God that I have that in Maurice.
Wow. That's key. What you said, everything that you said was right on track, but one thing that stuck out was when they don't have a hidden agenda. That's really, really key. Let's go through some of the comments here for a bit, KJ, and kind of see what we got going on with the comments.
Yes. So let's see. Which I resonated with what C said as well. I don't take the most help from men, and that just go back to my hyper independence. And I was like, no, I can do this. But Just Verder said, I understand you, Cece. I don't want to take advice from my dad at all, or my husband. I am still a work in progress some days on this, and it is okay. We can be works in progress together, because it's a little hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
She also said,
Definitely.
I get so upset when my husband pushes me. I'm trying to get better. I can't understand that part. I don't have a husband, but I do understand, getting upset when people are pushing you because you feel like, okay, I can do this, I got this, and now this person is on you. But that's a level of accountability that is great to have, because you need somebody to make sure you see things through. So you got this. Just keep working. You got it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me interject. So I'm just like you ladies. I got that, alpha mentality. So don't think it's all peaches and creams with me and Maurice. But I'm like, I'm not doing that. I end up doing it. And it don't look better.
It's all a process. You gotta grow through it.
Yes.
Right.
Like, I
Right.
don't want to hear it. I'm gonna do it, but not because you
I'm gonna
said
do
so, because it was actually a good idea.
it. Right.
That's what I
So
was
I
going to do
understand.
anyway.
I was gonna do that anyway, but thank you.
I'm doing this because I want to do this.
Right.
Right.
Let me ask a question. Yeah, because that brings me into to think about this. What about unsolicited help? When people are seeing things that you're doing and they have these preconceived ideas or some ideas about how you should be doing something. Uh, how do we deal with those type of situations? Is there a good way to deal with that type of person? How do you deal with that?
I think the old me listening to somebody saying that to me, I probably would have took it as like, oh, you trying to be a little shady? Like you don't think I know what I'm doing? But the me now, depending on the person, I'll say that depending on the person, if what they're saying I feel like can help me or is great advice, then I'm okay with taking it, because I feel like sometimes if I'm trying to help somebody, they may not ask for it, but if I see something that I think could be better and I want to give it to them, I would hope they will receive me in a good way. So I would want them to receive me. I would want to receive somebody the same way in a positive light and not necessarily negative all the time. So it would depend on the person and what they're saying as to how I would take it.
Okay. I see we got a comment here from Drunk. He said, I don't mind unsolicited help, but don't try to force me to do it your way when I didn't ask you for your advice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he kind of hit the nail on the head with where I'm coming from. A lot of the times, and we have to be careful. That's kind of a tricky little line to walk, in my opinion, because yeah, we think we know, or I don't even want to say think. A lot of the times we have things planned out how we like to do it. And just because someone is on the outside looking in doesn't necessarily mean that they know the best way that it should be done. They're just looking at it as if they would do it that way. So a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
times I can listen to it, but I still might not implement the advice that they're giving me because that's just not what I had in mind. That's not the direction that I like to go. And maybe I'm just not, maybe I hadn't gotten to that point yet. I'm just not on track in the process of that yet. So I feel like a lot of the times people are trying to put their ideas in on what you're doing because they're trying to have an idea of what your success should look like, and only you
Mm-hmm.
can define what your success should look like. Because anyone who has a business plan or who has a great idea, believe it or not, we kind of have that planned out. So when someone is giving that unsolicited advice and telling you what you should do, or I would do it that way, that doesn't come off too well for me. Not at all. Not at all. As a young person, Kalia, is there a way that you feel like you've helped somebody and it has probably been harmful to you?
To me,
Yes.
yes, actually. I didn't I didn't mean to get that passionate, but yes. So I think, and it kind of goes back to what we said earlier, when you're helping somebody but they're not helping themselves. And so I feel like I've had an instance where I've tried, my very best to help somebody in the workplace, as their supervisor, tried to make sure they had everything they needed, tried to offer just so much help. And no matter what I did, they just kept doing the wrong thing. Like, just kept doing something completely different, something completely outlandish, something crazy. So now my help has to change. And I'm like, okay, we'll do another approach. We'll try to make this a little different. Still didn't work. And I feel like I took it personal because it looked bad on me as being the person who's supposed to be there to help supervise them and to help guide them. And they were just completely misguided. And so I felt like, well, dog, is this making it look like I don't know what I'm doing in my role because I can't help this person? And in reality, it wasn't like bad on me, but it did help me realize that you can't help everyone, and you really have to think about how this person is helping themselves before you offer your help, especially when like your name is attached to the person. Like, okay, let me think about what you're doing. Is my help going to help you, and how is this going to reflect on me as a person? So.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Got you. Would you like to weigh in on that? See?
No, I agree with what she was saying, and what I started doing, I had to start taking a step back because I felt like I was doing too much and it wasn't being received. So I had to start taking a step back. So now, if anybody needs help or whatever, I ask them, "What kind of help do you need from me? What exactly do you need me to do so that I don't overextend myself trying to help you and I'm not doing a good job or it's not what you needed? So let me know what you need from me, and if I can help you, then I will."
Okay. And I feel like that That's very key. What about you, Sue?
Yeah, I had two incidences where it was not helpful for me, and as a result, and it sucks, but as a result, I have pulled back a little bit, and not have stopped being so open and so gullible when it comes to people, because me helping one person turned into a stalker situation, and that was not good at all. I don't know what was going on in their mind. Clearly mental illness, but I was like, yo. Then there's another occasion where I'm helping someone and they feel threatened by my presence and threatened by my abilities. And I'm like, I'm not trying to take over your show. I'm just trying to help you and do this and do that. But you feel threatened. And as a result, now I feel alienated. And I feel like, yo, I don't need to be here, because I don't want to be somewhere where someone thinks I'm coming after what they have. And I don't want it, because I got too much on my plate already. I'm just trying to be of assistance because I really want to see this event take place.
Right. I get you. And I can kind of add a little bit to that. I run into that issue quite a bit. And you will kind of in the line of work that we do, especially when it comes to productions of shows or things of that nature. People tend to think that, like what you said, they think you're trying to take over their show. And it isn't that. It's the idea of us being creators and producers and understanding how much it really takes to put on a good production. People have no idea of all of the ins and outs and all of the things that go on behind the scenes that it really takes to accomplish, putting on a good show. And they don't want to ask for help from someone who has done it because they feel intimidated, or they feel like you're going to come in and take over something that you're really not there to do. You're really there to offer something that is necessary because you've been there. And that's the only reason why you're offering the help that you're offering. KJ, we're going to go through some of the comments again. If we could bring up a comment here.
Let's see. Oh, we got Marie Wilson watching. Hey, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Let's see. We got, and it's okay not to go someone's way, but it is upsetting when they try and get mad because you didn't use their ideas when it comes to ask that unsolicited help.
Mm,
And it's like, I get it, but I didn't ask. And
right.
thank you for your input, but if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. You just got to know. You got to know.
You got to know. Somebody else in the comment. Let's stroll through them. Keep going through them a little bit.
Let's see. Drunk said, I've had somebody ask for my help and then treat me like crap when I started helping them. Me too. Me too. I've been there. So that actually does lead me to a question. I'm going to read one more comment and we're going to see if I remember it. So we have another comment that said, I helped a family member, allowing them to move in my house. They were supposed to stay a few weeks. It ended up being a year. They almost burnt my house down and I had to put them out. It hurt me to do it.
Ooh, this is a big one.
Yeah.
This is a big one. That family member, when you move somebody in your house, that is help of a different beast.
Right.
It really is. And it really is important to set timelines, because if you do not set timelines, people are not going to hold up to their end of the bargain. They just don't have the will, because now they get into this comfort zone. And for some reason, I don't know what that reason is, they feel like they make the person feel like they're obligated to do what they're doing. My suggestion is that when someone is helping you in that type of way, which is a huge help, and especially today, and I imagine with so many things that are going on right now with the economy and everything that we're experiencing nationwide, there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of people who are struggling with the idea of helping a family member and bringing them into their home. And then you have to think about, okay, you're bringing someone into your home. Do they have kids? Do they have a dog? How much help are you really giving? Are they paying rent? Are they doing any of the household responsibilities? That's a tough one. Weigh in on this a little bit with me, C and Sue. What are you guys thinking?
Definitely. I think you got to establish guidelines. You got to establish, look, you can come stay with me for 6 months. You're going to pay, look at what they can afford to pay. These are the chores that you're responsible for. These are the household items that you're responsible for bringing into the house. Listen, at 10 o'clock, it's quiet hour in the house. This is not your house, which means don't be bringing all your friends over here. So,
Right.
lay out those rules, and I think that way nobody gets hurt, because you knew. It's just like, when you're renting a house to somebody, you have a lease agreement. You got all the rules and regulations, and everybody on the same page. And if you violate those rules and regulations, then you get kicked out. And so if you come with that, then I think that's going to make things a lot simpler.
Right.
Right.
What are your thoughts,
Right.
C?
Yeah. I was on the other side. I was the one who needed to move in. After college, my cousin let me stay there and stay at his house until I got my apartment. And he was so gracious. But I'm also the person where I'm, not trying to be in the way. So I'm going to stay to myself. I'm going to do whatever it is that you need me to do. I'm the good tenant, I would say. But I was grateful for him and grateful for his help. But I also feel like, if somebody was on the other side of that, you have to respect people. You have to respect that, because you are the one that needs the help. And so why would you take advantage of somebody, or why would you make them feel obligated, or you feel entitled to whatever it is they have when you're the one that needs help? Because they could say no. But the fact that they say yes, you
Absolutely.
should be grateful about it. So I mean,
Yes.
it's a hard pill to swallow, but if you need the help, be grateful for the one who's trying to help you.
I
Right.
agree. I agree, because for me, I just feel like Sue said, like every answer that we've been hearing are good answers and good opinions. But I feel like people need to. I feel like us as a culture of people, we have got away from generational home living and home building, and I don't know when or why we got into that, but I feel like if rules are set and boundaries are set, I feel like it could be better, because like I said, we're living in a time where I feel like there are a lot of people who are going to need some of that. So be conscious of the type of tenant you're going to be that good tenant. If you're looking for a job or in search of a job and somebody else in the house is out working and making sure bills are being paid, well, be useful in the home. Be the one who's doing some cleaning, cook, do some grocery shopping, cut the grass. Just make yourself useful in a way so when that person comes home from working, they don't feel like you've just been in the house all day doing nothing, and they're out here taking care of grown people. No one
Hmm.
wants to do that, not even your parent. And you shouldn't even want to do that to your parent. You should want to be useful. And when you find yourself being useful, then you find a better home environment. You find an environment where you really can build up and you can save. And you get out here. No particular person is responsible for everything going on in the house. You're sharing bills, you're sharing duties, and that could make for a really great way of living. So I hope that people can look at themselves honestly, look in the mirror, and honestly say, okay, I need this help. Let me ask for it, but let me be someone who is deserving of this help. Let me make the person who is helping me be grateful that they did this for me. I don't want to be the one to sour them. I don't want them to be in a position of not ever wanting to help anyone else, or I don't want to be in a position where my name is soured in the family, where they're like, okay, well, and you know how people do. I help so and so and so, and she just laying up in the house, ain't doing nothing. Kids running around, don't have manners, doing what they want to do. They got a dog. I don't even like pets. So you don't want to be that person. People have to learn to live together. And I really wish we would learn to live together and learn to live together better, because I feel like just that alone will help a whole lot of people come out of some of the situations that they're finding themselves in right now. That's my take on it.
It's funny though, Tanya. You said nobody wants adults just laying around, not doing anything, and the other person who owns a home is out, making a living. I don't want my kids just laying around. I mean, I know I brought them in. I know I brought them into the world, but I'm for real. I don't want to come home and I'm like, yo, the house is a mess, but you asking me when we're gonna eat. Are you serious right now? So if I don't want my kids that I brought into the world doing me like that, I surely don't want no freaking adult living with me and it's gonna be lazy like that. Like you said, even if you don't have a job, there's plenty of jobs inside the house. And let me tell
Right.
you something, I'd rather work a job outside the house than inside the house. That's just me. I don't know about
Right.
y'all.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
And I don't want to be the one who, I'm at work and I come home and it's just like dishes piled up in the sink. Nobody look, the floor hadn't been swept. Just make yourself useful.
Right.
We got some more people in here commenting on what we're talking about. KJ, I'm gonna let you take over with some of the comments. Let us know what the people are talking about.
All right, all right, all right. So we got to press the button for it to pop up. Drunk said, I let my cousin stay with me one time. Worst month of my life. I had to put her out. I honestly didn't care what happened to her as long as she wasn't in my crib anymore. And I think that comes back to, souring the person who was helping you. Like, dang,
It
you just
does.
all of my space, not doing nothing. Don't even come back. Just go.
No
Just,
respect for my
just go.
property.
Right.
No respect for my rest because that
Nothing.
brings stress on you,
It
Oh
does.
God, I'm
It
sorry.
does.
I don't care what happened to
You just gotta go. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
guess what? They don't have a home.
Well, you're right.
Oh
You're
God.
right. Well, that goes to what Radisha was saying. Set guidelines. Expectations and boundaries are definitely important when allowing
Yes.
someone to stay with you. Because then you won't end up put out and nobody don't care what's going on. You just out there doing something.
Terrible, terrible. You don't want to be that person.
You really don't. You
You
really don't.
don't.
I know I don't. I need
Right.
somebody to care about my whereabouts and my well-being.
I tell you
Somebody.
what. Like what we're doing right now, I hope, and that's the whole idea behind the Brown South Girls podcast, is we really want to be helpful in allowing people to have conversations, allowing people to hear different points of views, because sometimes we might be going through things or thinking about something and we don't really know how to communicate it. And if we can hear, some other people talk about it, like what we're doing right now, it just might spark a different point of view. And I hope that is helpful. That's the whole idea behind it. And I know that's why you guys do a lot of things that you do. What I want to do right now is I want to bring up, as you guys can see right here, the Brown South Girls podcast is on YouTube. Yes, we are. So make sure that you guys join and subscribe, do that. But I want to show you who our guests are and allow you to look them up as well. We've got Sue Ham here. She does so many different things in the community, as you can see. You can go to sueham.com. She does her stage plays. There's just a lot of information that she shares. She's also into real estate. I'm just strolling through here so that you can see who we're talking to here, see what they have going on in their lives. You guys go to her page, and there's just so much information that she's sharing with you guys, as well as our other guests. C. She's got Keeping Up with C. She has a lifestyle type of podcast, and she's also on YouTube. You can find her on all platforms. Keeping Up with C. She brings you inspiration and home and a different, in lifestyle. So you guys look them up, find them on all of the platforms. All right, and I think you'll have a better idea of who you've been listening to, and then you'll know why they have such great advice to share, why they were open to have this conversation with us. And I want to thank you guys for having the conversation with us. Are there any last things that you'd like to share with us that you have coming up, C?
Just really subscribing to the channel. Trying to really grow the channel and be a full-time paid content creator and entrepreneur. So I do vlogs and videos every Wednesday and Saturdays on my channel. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, like she said, keeping up with C on all platforms. But I would appreciate the support.
All right, all right, all right. We are here for you, and we will be keeping up with C. We're going to keep up with you. Miss Sue Ham, Let the people know what you have coming up, because you've got a lot of great, exciting things going on all the time. What do you want to share with us today?
Just want to ask everybody to tune in. And first of all, thank you again, Tanya, for this opportunity to come on your broadcast and share with your audience. I want to just ask everybody to tune in to SueHam.com. We have a new TV show that's coming out that's going to be on the Now Network. Also, we have a real estate course, free webinar training that you can check out at moneywithrealestate.com. And maybe in another year or so, if the economy picks up, when the economy picks up, we'll get back into doing our stage plays. But you can also check out snippets and different parts of our shows at SueHam.com.
All right. So that's who our guests are. And we've had a great time talking to you guys today. Hope that you all are asking for the help that you need. Hope that you are being helpful to people who are around you, but help within your means. Help within your means. Do not offer help that is going to bring you harm and that is going to do a disservice to you or take you under in a way that you're not prepared for. All right. Mm-hmm. That's my take on it. KJ, you know what time it is?
Yes, this hour goes by so fast every time. Every time.
I don't know what happened.
Every time. We just get to talking per usual.
We just do. That's how it goes. I don't know. But what? What you get ready to say?
I'm prepared this time. Y'all wasn't going to catch me slipping for another Sunday, because the next last Sunday is September 25th.
So is that when we're going to be back doing this live?
We'll be back again.
We'll be back again live. Is there anything else you want to say to the people before we have to let the people go help somebody?
Well, when we come back, I will be a new woman because my birthday is coming up. Ooh. So I'm very excited. Well, am I excited? I might be a little nervous. No,
it's Virgo season.
It's Virgo season. So we're celebrating honestly, we celebrate until October, but it's Virgo season. So, just give your favorite Virgo a little extra love. If it just so happens to be me, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I love y'all back.
Well, we're going to tell you happy birthday, and we're going to say happy birthday, KJ. We're going to say happy birthday to all the Virgos who are celebrating right now.
Definitely.
Live your best life.
Have fun. Have a blast.
Okay. Eat some cake.
Please. And if you have a nothing bundt cakes anywhere near you, that's the best place to go.
You kidding me?
Their cakes are so good. And you can get tiny bundt cakes, for yourself, so you don't have to share. Tell me.
So wait a minute. You talking about not sharing? We were just talking about being helpful to people.
So you don't have to worry about eating too much cake at one time.
That sounds a lot better. All right. So until the next time, tell the people when the show is coming out again.
All right. We'll see y'all on September 25th at 6 p.m.
Yeah, we will.
Be there or be square. I think that was